the street chasing wrong from right. Eyes like fire burning through the haze. Truth is a weapon, cuts through the maze. Some call her trouble, some call her brave. Digging up secrets they tried to save. A real deal around town. She's breaking it down, spinning the wheel, exposing the sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her cry. Shadows, they curse her name. Afraid of the spotlight she brings to the game. But the grateful ones, they cheer in the dark for the spark she ignites in their weary hearts. Some call her danger, some call her hope. She's the thin line on the tightrope. The sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her crown, yeah. The sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her crown, yeah.
Okay, I finally got that shut off. I had too much light here. Oh my goodness. Oh, too bright. Okay, so I've got somebody here. All right. Oh, let me get rid of this thing. I'm going to go ahead and add the select board here so that we're ready to go. Okay. So they're waiting for us. No, they're waiting for the select board. Let me look. Let's see. Yeah, no, nobody else is on Zoom but me and TCAM. And here we are. They're going to be starting up in 4 minutes, if they're on time, which they rarely are. They're usually a couple minutes late. Or they're there and they said, TCAM, we need a little bit more time to get ready. They start getting ready at 4:30, meeting time. So anyway, but I'm here. You're here. We're ready to go. One thing that's going to happen tonight is they've got like 4 executive sessions. 4. And the first one, they're going to do right after they open the meeting. It's something to do with, I think, an employee. I'd have to look at the thing again. It's all hush-hush, but they have to put it on the agenda and have their executive session. So they're going to open the meeting and then go into executive session. And at that time, I've got several announcements. One of them is confusing, but you need to know. And that's all about elections coming up. The most important, forget about the midterms. We're electing 2 select board members to create our 5-member select board. So that's the most important election that we have coming up. That will be October 6th. And I'm going to have all the dates. So all of you who are waiting, that you cannot wait to run for select board, I think we have a whole bunch of people waiting in the wings for the announcement that they can come down and pick up their nomination papers and get those 50 signatures and get on there and tell everybody how badly they want to get on the select board and fix this town. Okay? I know you're out there, so I'll give you all the answers that I have and what all the dates are. And we'll go over those. And there's also 2 other elections that are not, they're state elections, but we're having elections in Townsend. The first Tuesday in September, the first Tuesday in October, and the first Tuesday in November are all election days in Townsend. So mark your calendars, cancel your vacations, take the day off from your job. Some of them have early voting, some of them don't. Some of them have mail-in, some of them don't. It's confusing in that regard. But there are, for those of you that are just going to make it easier on yourself and come vote in person on election day, I like doing that, by the way. We got 2 minutes. I like being in person on election day. It's like a big social event. I'm at town hall all day long. I go home for a couple times and come back because it's like, no, all the fun is at town hall. I hang out with people campaigning, unless I don't know anybody really that's running. But usually there's things to do, people to talk to, people are holding signs. I'm usually doing a video, unless I got something else to do. But it's a big social thing. If you haven't seen, you know a lot of people in town, but you haven't seen them for a while, you come down to town hall on an election day. Because they'll come by eventually, and some of them stick around. A lot of people are coming and going. It's either because they're supporting candidates or they're doing what I do. Social event.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, we're getting started now.
It's June 16th, not January.
I don't want to relive the last 6.
January state of mind. Oh, I see how it is. Right here.
Okay, let's start that again, everybody. You feel bad about that?
I feel something, but not really bad. But
Okay. I'd like to
I think they have
All
microphones.
June 16th, 2016 is select board at 4:31 p.m. Roll call vote. Laura Shippen here. Sarah Logan here. Valerie Gibbons here. I'd like to note that the meeting is being recorded. And Laura, would you like
just one thing I know, I heard from a resident that it's tough to kind of hear us sometimes. So when you're speaking, speak loud, speak clear, enunciate, be loud.
to think that actually
There's a real problem with the audio tonight. It's like the mic is across the room. We cannot hear you. It's not because you're not speaking loud enough. There's a problem technically.
Is that better without the air conditioning?
Yeah. Yes.
Now,
Yes, it's better.
yeah, it's
The
like
air
a white
conditioner
noise. So.
picks up a lot of noise, so we'll just be hot, it's okay. Lori, sorry.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to not only thank, but because we always seem to say thank you, but have a great deal of gratitude for our veterans. Our military is currently serving here and abroad, as well as our first responders and our staff,
Keep it up.
which we really appreciate.
Yes, ma'am.
All of our staff and all of our elected and appointed officials, you help our community be a better place. Thank you.
So in terms of the agenda, we're just going to go straight into executive session for item 10.1. So I'm going to enter into executive session at 4:33 p.m. to discuss the pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of or complaints or charges brought against the public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. And the board will convene in open session following the executive session. I'll have a roll call. I've already been.
I'll second that motion.
What's your name?
Laura Schifrin,
All right.
I remember
All right.
Roll call.
Laura Schifrin.
Sarah Logan.
Here.
Sally Goodrich, yes. And TCAM, we will pause this and we'll come back in and one of us will run down to tell you when we're ready to something.
So
The
for those
recording
watching,
has stopped.
we will be back. So just be patient. Thank you.
Okay. I'm back again. Let's see. I'm back. They're in executive session. I don't know that they're going to be there that long. But hopefully I have enough time to go over the election information. I don't know if I can. I'm going to, oh, no, I can't. I can't do that. I'm going to have to just tell you. I'm not turning the screen off. Actually, I can. I'm going to take them off. Whoops. No, that's not what I want to do. Get them out. Okay. I'm going to try to bring up the town clerk's page. If they come back too fast, I'm going to be upset. Usually they spend a lot of time in executive session, but let's see if I can get to. Why am I having trouble? Departments. Is this a department? Town clerk, the department. Okay, here we are. Let's see. Share screen. Town clerk. There it is. Okay. Actually, I'm going to get out of the way so that it's bigger. So right now, let me see how many people we got. We only have a couple people, but that's okay. It's probably the town clerk's office. Anyway, July 6th is the, excuse me. July 6th is the first day that you're going to be able to pick up nomination papers in order to run for a select board. Now, remember, there's 2 select board seats that will be vacant. So you can, 2 people, well, we can have a bunch of people running, but you have to decide which seat you want, which can be tough because you want to know who you're running against, and you won't know who you're running against until somebody has to be the first, okay? And you can always go out and get new nomination papers if you decide you want to run against someone else, but you have to start that whole process all over again, which isn't necessarily too hard for some people. People will be entertained by you coming around twice. Somebody did that last time. I think it was Mark Hussey did that twice. He took out papers twice because he changed who he was running against, and then he ended up not winning. So, but that's, I mean, I'm not criticizing him, but I'm just using him in this example that you can change your mind which seat you're running for after. But you have to, not after, but after you already take out papers, you can take out papers again as long as you're still in the window. Now that I'm adding more confusion to this whole process. But July 6th is the first day you can get nomination papers to run for select board. And I know we're going to have a line at the door, okay? So, all right. Then on August 14th is the last day you can pick up nomination papers. Everybody has to have their nomination papers turned back in with enough signatures that are valid signatures. So August 18th at 5 p.m., you must have your nomination papers returned, ready to go, completely filled out, including your own signature. There's a place on there, I think, that you can vote. You can nominate yourself too. So don't forget to put your name in there. Anyway, then we have Okay, early voting, September, the first Tuesday in September, which is September 1st, is the state primary. On that day, if you're voting in person, the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. On August 31st, on August 22nd to 28th, you can do early voting at Town Hall. Okay, I don't know where Harrison's going to have it set up, but it will be somewhere. State primary, I think that there's a lot of interest in the state primary because it's Senator Markey versus Senator or Representative Moulton on the Senate seat. So I think a lot of people might be interested in that if you're registered Democrat or if you're unenrolled. That's a hotly contested seat, so that might gain some interest. Oh, plus, well, it's already decided that, yeah, Governor Healy does not have anybody running against her. It's on the Democratic side. So I don't know that the other seats are all that critical. I don't think for us, I could be wrong. I could be missing the boat on some of these seats, but I don't think there's a lot of competition out there for the other seats. So, but if you want to vote early, in person, August 22nd through the 28th, August 31st at noon is the deadline to vote absentee, which, why bother? In my book, why bother if you're going to vote, if early voting is a thing? But you have until August 31st if you have a legitimate reason to vote absentee, which has different rules than early voting. But either way, just vote, will you? Okay. October 5th at noon is the deadline to vote absentee in person for the town special election, which is the day before the 6th, in case you didn't know. So you can do absentee. There's no early voting for the select board election. Okay. See, this is kind of what Harrison was trying to avoid. He wanted the select board to set the election before all this. He wanted us to be voting pretty soon. But because this is chaotic, trying to figure out, can I vote? Can I vote? What election am I voting in? All right. So here we are, the select board election. There's no early voting, but if you can't vote on that day, there is absentee voting if you can't be in town to vote on October 6th. I don't know if there's mail-in. He doesn't have that on here. There probably is mail-in voting, but I don't know. Maybe he'll add something. If he's watching my channel, he can add to this about mail-in because I'm not seeing it on here for anything. It's got to be there somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Harrison or Jack, add that to this list, that whether or not we'll have mail. We will. I know he talked to me about this. So, but he didn't put it on here. So you guys add mail-in voting information on here. I think we need it. It can be even more confusing than the rest of this stuff. All right. So October 17th through the 30th is in-person early voting for the state general election, which is on November 3rd. Okay. The final, who's going to be sitting in what seat where for the state. Like, I know that there are people that are all upset or all, I don't know if it's upset, but you about the governor race. So November 3rd, I think will be a big day for Townsend yeah, I think we'll get a lot of voters out. Who's running on the Democratic ticket for U.S. Senator will be already determined in the primary because it's the Moulton Markey thing is a Democrat Party issue only. So who's sending me messages? You comment. Oh, Harrison commented. Let's see. All right, let me get through this. So November 2nd is the deadline to vote absentee for the state general election, and you can do early voting at the end of October. So, okay, Harrison is trying to get my attention. Oh, okay. In-person early voting for the September. It's in the chat. If you're live or even replay, this should be showing. In-person early voting for the September primary will be in room 2. And November will be, the early voting in November will be in the Great Hall. All 3 elections will have vote by mail. Okay, just trying to confuse everybody some more. No, this is confusing. So everybody should know if you're already signed up for mail-in voting, you are going to get all 3 ballots mailed to your house, not at the same time, but at some point, but pretty open, and it could be an overlap. So one caution Harrison does have for everyone is to be very careful with these ballots. If you plan on voting by mail, you need to make sure you know which ballot you're dealing with. Let me see something. All right, well, they're still in it. Oh no, I lost it. Okay. Oh no. Crap. I'll get there. What did I do with it? I lost. I lost Town Hall. Oh my. Don't ask me how I did it. I have no idea where I put it. Okay, so I have to look at this screen. Oh, help me. Anyway, you're going to have all these. I think there's going to be an overlap in your mailbox with these early voting or the mail-in votes. So make sure you put the right ballot in the right envelope. And I believe there's, one ballot has 2 different envelopes to it. Don't mix them up between elections, because if you put the wrong ballot in the wrong envelope, the vote will not be counted. Your vote will be trashed. Okay? So you got to make sure we get that right. Wish I knew what I did with. I can't believe I lost the page. You can see everything fine. I can't. Everything's a mess. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Okay. Boy, I have too many. I'm one of those people who have way too many tabs open. I use like 5 different browsers. I have, what do I have? I have the Safari, I have Firefox, I have Chrome, I have Opera, and I do the Microsoft one, Edge. I got them all up, and I have way too many tabs open on all of them. My computer locks up on me once in a while, and I have to shut it all down, and I'm in tears because I have to go through every once in a while and clean up my tabs. So it's not just you, it's me. So, all right. So if you want me, I'm going to leave that up for a few minutes so you can make sure you have it, you know what's going on here. I don't know. Okay, Harrison, if you're still here, do you know off the top of your head, or if you're in your office, maybe, tell us, if you're not registered to vote, what the last day to register to vote is for these elections. Maybe if he's watching, he can chime in here. And if he's paying attention. Okay, I just lost a couple people. I don't know if he left. But anyway, if you're not registered to vote, it's not too late. I know you can still register to vote right now if you're not registered to vote. Why is that there? I guess you guys were seeing my little swag bucks. New survey. How about that? Anyway. So, yeah, but as we get closer to each of these elections, there will be different dates on what the last date to register to vote is. So it's good. Like right now, you can go online. If you're not sure, every election, there's always somebody who's voting, voting registration expired or something. So it's good to go on to the state. Anyway, if you look on the screen, you'll see under quick actions, if you go to the Townsend Mass website and you're at the town clerk's page, you can see this is what comes up first. He's got this up because this is the most important thing happening right now. And if you look under quick action, it says registered to vote. and it says to verify your voter status. It's really easy to do. You click on verify voter status and see if I can pull that up. Is that showing? No, it's not showing. Why is it not showing? Oh, that's why. Is it opened a fresh window? Okay, I'm not pulling it up because then I have to do everything all over again. But it asks you your first and last name, your date of birth, and your zip code. And you really shouldn't check on anybody else's, but I guess it doesn't. It's not nothing secret there. So if somebody knows your birthday, they can check your voter status, and it will tell you whether you're registered to vote properly or not. And things that get you kicked off the voter rolls is if you didn't fill out the census form. If you didn't fill out the census form back in January, February, March, somewhere in there, you might not be registered to vote. So it's good to verify your voter status now. Oh. I just got a message about, I don't, hold on. Okay. Somebody said, hold on. I'm right here. My goodness, I'm not going to report that. There's something, I'm not reporting it. Because, I can report this. Okay. I don't know what's going on in the select board chambers. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to remove the wrong thing. Okay. I got to take this down. I'm going to bring the select board chambers back up. Nope. Let's see if I can get this right. Remove. There's police at town hall. There's a police. This doc has more dates than the abridged version. I think he's talking about the election. Okay. I'm a little flustered right now. I told you earlier they're in executive session, and they're in executive session over an employee matter and a confidential employee matter. And I've been informed that at town hall, the police are there. It's not because the police are part of the employee problem. They aren't the problem. There's not like there's no cop getting in trouble this time. This time, they've handled those a little bit more secretively, which I think I've reported on some of them. They never made it to being necessitating a hearing or I don't know that they're having a hearing, but it's an executive session, which usually these things are the employee choice. The employee, if there's an employee that's in trouble in town, they have the right to a public hearing. If you're called on the carpet and you have to report to the select board for disciplinary action or something along those lines, I don't remember all the words that are used, but if you get one of those notices, you will have the right to have this little meeting with the select board in an open public session. And I'm assuming this employee did not choose to do that. And whatever's going on, the cops are there. If something else, if things go south, I'm assuming I'll be told. But wow, I need a sip of coffee for this one. And yes, this is coffee. Holy cow. See, am I getting more? I'm not getting any more secret information. Wow. Okay. So everybody should be in a great mood when this is over and we move to, they're going to come back to open session. And then they're going to go on with the rest of the meeting. Oh, I'm getting, oh my God. No, don't react. Okay. You sent a link to a doc. No, you didn't. I don't have a. No, it would be live chat. I'm assuming you're talking to me. You're texting me while I'm talking to you, so you can't send a link in the. There it is. I got that. I think that's up already. Oh, okay. I'm hold on, everybody. I'm reading something. Ah, yes. I don't know that I've got the select board back up waiting for them to come back. I don't know if I want to pull this. This is even more confusing. Last day and hour to apply for mail-in ballot. Last day and hour to vote absentee, state election. Whatever. Oh, I'm getting more. I'm getting a lot of messages here. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to try. Should I? I'm not going to. The select board can come back any minute. Although it could be lengthy now that I think about it. This could be a hearing. If it's a hearing, and if it's a hearing regarding employee, I don't want to say termination because that's not, I don't know that, employee discipline or whatever. If that's what's happening, it could be a while. We could be here for a while. So, let me think. I should show a movie. I should try to get on. No, I could probably get in trouble if I went to Apple TV and started showing a TV show or something. Let's see. I can't do that. Hold on. I'm not going to do it. Forget it. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, important information. I clarified with Carla today. For those of you that pay attention to what's going on around here and you utilize the recycling center to either bring up all your crap that you can't throw away and pay money for them, the town to throw it away for you, like all those plastic toys that you can't get rid of once you buy them, you know, those, and TVs, and use the swap shop. I never stop in that thing. Once a year I look to see if there's anything in there. And there is a swap shop at the recycling center, in case you didn't know. When you first pull in, it looks like a tool shed on the left. That's a swap shop. So you should check it out. Maybe I'll try to remember this weekend. Usually Carla closes the recycling center when there's a holiday attached. And this coming Friday is Juneteenth. So it's a holiday. Everything's closed in town hall. The town is shut down. It's a holiday for the town. So when there is a holiday, she usually closes the recycling center. And I checked the schedule because I got a bunch of brush. I go up there and dump brush. And I've got a pile of brush that I'm getting ready to put in my truck. I have to get goods. I've got stuff in my truck I have to take out, but I got brush I need to put in there and take to the recycling center. And so I said, it's on the schedule that's going to be open, but Carla usually closes it when there's a holiday. So sometimes she closes it at the last minute. So I said, I got to email her. So I sent her an email this morning to verify what the scoop was, and she had forgotten it was a holiday. And I figured as much because it's a new holiday. We're not used to it. So she let me know she didn't know. She forgot. But she said that it's going to stay open. And I'll tell you one thing, that it's going to be closed over the 4th. The next time it will be open is, I think, July 11th, from what she told me. Let me double check my email. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Oh, wrong email. I got too many emails too. Let's see. It will be open on the 11th and the 18th of July as well. So, but if she didn't open this Saturday, then we'd have to wait till July 11th, which is like a month away. So thank you, Carla, for keeping the recycling center open Saturday. I'm happy. And I know other people will be happy that they can finish cleaning out their yard or their house or whatever they're getting rid of. So the recycling center is open this Saturday. Its usual hours. Don't ask me what they are because I don't remember. I think they open like at 7, but is it 7 to 2? If somebody knows for sure in the chat, don't go looking for it, but if you know, I think it's 7 to 2. I usually load my truck up on Friday afternoon. That way I don't have to get up early and stuff everything in my truck and then go over and dump it out and all that. My allergies are killing me. 7 to 2. Okay. I have an informed resident letting me know it's 7 to 2. I guessed right. Thank you, Seeker. Okay. So what else is new? What else do I need to report on? I have nothing new on anything going on. I've been doing other things, and there's nothing exciting that I can think of. The select board, I'm not going to pull up there because I want to keep that Zoom link ready to go for the meeting. If I take the Zoom link down, they're going to start up again, and I'm not going to be ready for them. I'm going to have a delay. We can't have that. Okay. I'm going to go to the agenda for the select board and at least tell you what's on there. Select board. Oh, they're going to have a joint meeting. Townsend Housing Authority. That's going to be funny. I really think that's going to be hilarious. I'll explain it when it happens. Is it tonight? Yeah. Joint meeting. Supposedly at 6. Between the Housing Authority. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking that they were going to talk about something else. I thought they were having a joint meeting. No, I'm wrong. Yep, they're having a joint meeting, but this is not hilarious. This is just routine. They're appointing a member, Bernadette Oinanen. Oh boy, Oinen. I'm terrifying. I'm just destroying this person's name. But Bernadette, anyway, is going to be appointed to the Housing Authority. So they get more members, more people that don't know what they're doing. Okay. Yes, I meant that. I did mean that. And anyway, they were talking at
The review agenda and announcements. As I said, we just took that one a little bit out of order, and then we will be at 6 o'clock going into 5.1. We didn't know how long that executive session would take, so that joint meeting with housing is going to be at 6. If we have to go into executive session and come back out again, I'll state as such. And then for announcements, I have a lovely fun announcement from Karen Clement in the Flag Committee. I'll just read it really quick. If you've ever wanted to march in a parade, well, here's your chance. No prep involved. Just let me know if you're willing to march and holding a flag on Saturday, June 20th, 26th in the Historical Society 250th US Parade. It starts at Scales Lane and ends at the Common, 1.1 mile walk. Parade starts at 11 a.m., but marchers are to be there at 10 a.m. The town of Townsend American Flag Committee is giving the opportunity to help show off the 3x5 replicas of 27 American flags that we have had in the USA since 1777. So you can talk to Karen Clement, the Flag Committee, or you can just show up. It sounds like in the flag, and you're willing to march with the parade on the 250th, which is this Saturday. Townsend250.org, I believe it is. In the Historical Society, lots of fun stuff going on. Hope everybody comes around. Should be a great time.
The weather's good.
Yeah.
Looks promising. So.
Any questions on any of that? Number 4, meeting minutes for 6:02 and 6:03.
I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the select board meeting minutes of June 2nd, 2026 and June 3rd of 2026 as presented.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any questions, comments? No? I
Thanks,
think
Sabrina.
a few corrections to Sabrina, but you got them in really quick. Roll call?
I did already.
Yeah.
I made the edits.
Yeah.
So I was fine.
You're good. Yeah.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
And Valerie Goodrich, yes. Number 5, appointments. We have a set of appointments from rolling the year over on June 30th, looks like. You want to do those, Sarah?
This is 5.2.
Yep.
Okay. I state,
It's okay.
I know, just reading it verbatim. I, Sarah Logan, move to reappoint Natalie Call to the Council on Aging for a term of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Second, Laura Schiffern.
Any questions? Roll call?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
I, Sarah Logan, move to reappoint Susan Gierkin to the Council on Aging for a term of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Any questions? Oh, sorry.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Roll call?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
I, Sarah Logan, move to reappoint Donna Lynn Pinkerton to the Council on Aging for a term of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any questions? Nothing. Roll call?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
I, Sarah Logan, move to reappoint Kimberly King to the Meeting Hall Gallery Committee for a term of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes. And Sabrina did send out reminders to other people whose terms were up at the end of, will be up at the end of June.
Yes, there are several.
And so please get back to her if you intend to continue along by filling out the volunteer response form and getting in contact with Sabrina, and we will appoint as those come in.
Also, the chairs need to post.
If there's vacancies that are.
Some of the committees do not have staff,
Mhm.
so they should, like you
Yeah.
said, tell Sabrina, or they should post.
Mhm.
And if they're not posted within 30 days after, then the select board will take care of it.
So if you have any questions, contact Sabrina and she will help you out. She has a list of everything. The town clerks has lists of all the vacancies also, so everybody
Because
should
all
be
the
able.
ones we just did, if you look at their minutes, they have approved these.
Yes.
To come forward.
Yeah.
So the boards have to, or they don't have to.
Yeah.
But if they want to, they can recommend.
So moving on to 6.1 TCAM agreements.
This was fast and furious to the end of the day here. The most recent agreement is loaded into SharePoint. It was, hard work by the groups that were participating in it. I think it really turned out a nice product for the town. It's 5 years. I think it's a key to keeping communication strong within the community, and it does allow for some flexibility in terms of some capital improvements that TCAM has sort of on their wish list. It also solidifies some different Zoom accounts and some streaming options. A notable addition was the fact that it'll allow your leadership, your select board, and your town administrator's office to work with TCAM in the event that something comes up unexpected, which is really a nice, if just something out of the ordinary happens in our world, like COVID, we're able to react without having to go to a town meeting vote in that sense. So the agreements here, TCAM within its own board was working to get to a finish line approval point. I think if it were, my recommendation would be for you guys to, if you've read it, or I can print you copies. But it's been really gut checked by our town council, Mr. Solomon, quite a few times. So I think it's in good shape, and you could vote or review and vote to have it done out of session. So.
My only question, and it was, there was a requirement for select board meetings and town meetings to be live cable as they happen. And I was just thinking of the fact that our 6:30 meeting, all the rooms here are booked, and so we are going to the trustee conference room.
Mhm.
Is that a requirement that has to be in there? Is it just a nice to have? Because we'll obviously be Zooming, right? That's not a problem. And we can work with TCAM to probably figure out how to do that.
So long as the meeting's recorded, they're able to be flexible and get it online. So
Okay. As long as that's and getting it on the cable
yeah, again,
network.
and that's sort of a requirement of most communities, is you record the meetings, and then however the village, the community decides to get it online, they do it. Other towns aren't as fortunate enough as we are to have a TCAM, so they just record the meeting and then they post it onto their YouTube link. Teach their own, and to each community is a little different. So,
And then this agreement does allow us to come back when times change and things change and technology changes. If the TA's office and the board says, you know what, we really want a different way to organize these meetings with access to the public, we're still able to do that.
yeah, and there's also a world that Comcast just goes away. I mean, there's a world that they just become a streaming internet service, and we'd want to be able to, if that happened, in the next 5 years, we'd want to be able to react quickly and be proactive. So there's some flexibility.
I just want to make sure that flexibility is present. Go ahead.
You ready for a motion?
Up to you.
Okay. I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the TCAM agreement as presented to sign out of session with signature stamp.
Valerie Goodrich, second. Any discussion? Any more? No. Roll call vote.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
I think Lori was abstaining. Yep.
Okay.
Excellent. Great. So we'll get a signed copy from them, and then we'll have our stamps put on for you guys. So
Yeah. Okay.
just in terms of the
You
finish
can
line.
just make sure my interpretation is correct here. Because I mean, it looked to me that way. It seemed that way, but yeah, it's fine. We're good.
Amongst the list of things that
Yeah, we're good. It's fine. Don't worry. 6.2.
6.2 is an engineering contract that we had with Hoyle and Tanner. If you remember way back in the day, so back in the spring, we approved a master services agreement with them. And this was so if we wanted to, have someone to help us with land use professional services, we could hire them on an a la carte, say, hey, we have $1,000. Could you review this plan? Can't spend more than $1,000. And they could provide some of those technical services, very useful the day-to-day with some of the complex housing projects, residential projects, commercial projects. This has been vetted now by town council, and they've come back, and we sort of have had a meeting of the minds. So just be an engineer draft contract with Hoyle and Tanner.
Any questions? I mean, it seemed council's.
It was an option. It's just another option.
You're not
that the
obligated
Planning
to that.
board could use.
Correct.
It's nice to have more than an option.
And
I
it's,
agree.
it's a nice tool for our land use office, to have someone they can lean on for some of these
Mhm.
we've got a couple of really complex projects going on, and, just another, tool for us in our, in our work shed to get things done for the town, so.
Anything else? I'll take a motion.
I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the draft engineering contract with Hoyle Tanner and sign out of session with signature stamp.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any more discussion? Looks pretty good to me. Roll call vote.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes. So that's plenty more. A lot of stuff going on there, it seems like. Moving on to 7.1, special town election for select board on October 6th, and making sure we set the term for those 2 vacancies. So, kind of 2 parts to this. As we said, we have the special election for those 2 additional seats on October 6th, 2026. First Tuesday in September, October, November, everybody's gonna be voting.
That's right.
It's gonna be exciting fall. And in regards to that, the special town election, the clerk's office just released kind of a play-by-play of this summer and fall and how everything's going to play out. And with regards to this particular election, the nomination papers will be available at the town clerk's office on Monday, July 6th.
I can.
The last day for candidates to pull those blank nomination papers would be August 14th at 5 p.m. And then they would be due to be filed by the end of day, 5 p.m. on Tuesday, August 18th. So that's for the special town election on October 6th. And the clerk's office is going to be putting all this information out there, as well as information. There's a lot of information on dates so that people can be aware. They're going to make a special effort with all the elections going on to color code kind of the different return envelopes, and really, I appreciate all their efforts for trying to coordinate the chaos just a little bit.
If you give me 1 second,
It's a lot of dates.
I'll put the,
What, so you mentioned the terms. Where do you
Yeah,
see
So
that?
that's not in here, that's next. I just wanted to pull up those
Oh.
dates first and just make people aware of, in terms of if you're interested in running for those 2 vacancies.
give me 1 second.
No
and
worries.
I'll share.
Our first 5-member board,
Uh-huh.
like to see a lot of people out.
More people that run, the better for everybody. The, while Karen's pulling it up, just if there's some questions on the length of those terms, as kind of specified, we'd be talking from October through, the first one that would be April of 2027, so it'd be a 1.5 term essentially. And then the second vacancy would be for a 2.5-year term, so April of 2029.
Oh, 29.
Yeah, so it's in 26, right? You go April 2027, and 1 full year after that would be April 2028. So that's about a 1.5. And then the second one being 2.5 years, basically,
Will be 29.
Yeah.
Okay.
April 2029. So those would be the 2 terms, so 1.5 and a 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then that syncs up. There'll be 1 turnover next spring, then 2, then 2, 1, 2, 2. So does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
So, just for the sake of clarity, I'll take a motion to have the 2 new positions be for 1.5 and a 2.5-year term set to expire at the annual town election.
Okay.
Just say so moved too.
So moved.
Easy.
So helpful, Karen.
Robert's Rules of Order.
I was gonna wing it.
Any other discussion about that aspect of it? Before we get back to those?
No.
Roll call,
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
and Valerie Goodrich, yes. So as Kieran has pulled up here, you can see blank nomination papers, July 6th. Last hour and day for them to be pulled is October 14th at 5. and then-
August 14th.
Sorry, I'm getting my months mixed up today. It's been a busy week and a half. Let me read a little bit better. August
We were
14th.
freezing and now it's fall.
Now we're apple picking.
And then those will be due back Tuesday, August 18th at 5 p.m. So you have a good month and a week to get everything in if you'd like it. And there'll be those 2 seats and you pull for one or the other.
What is great is, like many communities in Massachusetts, our town clerk's office does have some hours extended, especially for those thinking of the state primary and the midterm elections. There's some extra time, based on these event calendars to reflect on, so.
Yeah, and they're quickly making this, all these, you can kind of see if Karen wants to scroll down a little bit, it goes through,
November.
some dates that are important for us, which we appreciate keeping track of. I'll make sure it gets on the agenda calendar. Then, state primary. Some more dates for us. This would be our special election and then the state election. So it'll all be there. We
Exciting.
appreciate all that coordination. Any questions? Any questions from the public? Direct them to the clerk's office and they'll help you out. Encourage everybody to get out and run. It's a great time over here. Come join us. Okay, on to 7.2, legal expenses for FY26. So, I'll take this one and Karen, you can pipe in
Mhm.
because you were on the call with council if I'm not getting everything or missing things. So as we approach 7.3, which is municipal transfers, something that has come up is obviously our legal expenses this year are over. One of the reasons for that is we changed from a monthly payment system to hourly, as Lori remembers in the fall. Justified, but that wasn't necessarily budgeted for, so that's part of the problem. And then there's been a lot this year. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk to council about was if this board can make kind of a good faith transparency initiative to possibly put not always, not detailed, but more generic classification on what some of our legal expenses are going to. And they offered that they actually can make kind of a more generic breakdown of what, they can say this much has been spent for land use, this much was in the select board's office, this much was on union negotiations. We can't get into the details of a lot of things because we can't comment on pending litigation, but at least having some numbers out there for the public so they understand what went into that. And
Like by department.
it wouldn't necessarily be by department, it
Why
by
not?
like category almost. So because
Because I
different
think
departments
of,
have,
like in one instance, it would be, so like your department would be your town administrator's office.
Yeah.
And you guys have worked with one of their attorneys to discuss, when you were shifting away from Nelson into an interim role and then into a full-time role, that costs some money reviewing the contract. So it would just be like,
a little more generic than,
yeah, like contract review town administrator. And like something to that effect it just says to someone, all right, the town had to spend, $1,800 to make sure they got a good legal contract for the town. And they used an attorney to do it. And, that's how much time and money was put into it as a taxpayer resource.
and this isn't to say we shouldn't be spending that money. Often, an ounce of prevention is worse than what you would get if you didn't spend that money. Like if we didn't spend money if we were doing the contract, we could wind up in big trouble. So it's not to say we shouldn't be, it's just an offer of some transparency from our board on what some of these, and again, we cannot give you an itemized breakdown of legal expenses. A lot of it's attorney-client privilege, a lot of it's pending litigation, but and I'd like to, if this board approves, be able to work with MTC to say, do we want to do it quarterly? Do we want to do it monthly? How best can we present it? That doesn't put us in any jeopardy, but gives the taxpayers some more information into what that money is being spent on, if you guys agree.
I think it's a great idea.
And if you think of like budget presentations that I did for the department heads as well as the town, we can start to isolate not, specificity, but sort of rather than just like, oh, we spend 100,000 on legal. Well, we spent 100,000, but because of the 1 year you had to go through police union negotiations or clerical union negotiations, highway, water, supervisors, like that is an expensive year.
Yeah, I think it's important that the taxpayers
Yeah.
know how much is spent on union negotiations.
Yeah,
Or even, I don't even know, and again, council will give us guidance and Adam his office has agreed to help us be like, nope, you need to be more generic here, you can't. But even some examples, like here's the contract that resulted from this negotiation.
Yeah.
Because our contracts have to be up there anyways, just putting some information in one place on the select board website. Sabrina can help with it. Hopefully kind of do a year-end summary for this year. It won't have all those categorizations that hopefully we'll have going into next year. But get that out for this year. Again, probably more broad and then bring it forward, decide if we want to do it at the end of each month, if we want to do it quarterly, but kind of work with them to get some of that.
So the invoices that we receive are not, public records?
They can be, but there's a lot of attorney-client privilege. They do by 10-minute section. So if I had a call about a specific thing, or you or Sarah, it might indicate what that thing was about. And that specific topic might be subject to privilege, where someone in the public,
Got
it could be dangerous if they knew about it for the town, especially the town administrator, or even a different department might have something that attorney-client privilege would cover. Maybe it is a difficult contract question, and they're not making those invoices to save, that it's only intended for this board. So we can redact it, but instead, like they can still give us that, but they can also give us a roll-up, basically.
Yeah.
So if we can get that roll-up for them, it doesn't cost anything additional. Without all that detailed information, that would be just huge going, and we can, Karen, with our commission, can ask for that starting forward for 2027.
and just it'll help me tell a story for the town. Like I love getting information, and I have a dream of putting all my TA reports online. I'd love to say like, here's a quarterly summary of where all our legal dollars went towards. And if you're the average Joe citizen at home, you may want to know. And it's like, all right, well, like, did they have to spend money, negotiating with Unitil on the project up on Brookline Street?
Yeah.
All right, that cost $2,000. That was,
I mean, I agree.
Yeah. Something to that effect.
So, I think what this would be is a motion to, increase transparency by getting some of our generic legal fees onto the select board's website as soon as we can arrange that with council and the PA's office.
So moved.
Laura Schifrin, second.
Any other questions?
We'll get it rolling.
Yeah.
Cool.
Open the doors. Roll call,
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
and Valerie Good, yes.
7.3, I know is your municipal transfers. I will fall on the sword here, and I have not had a lot of time to spend on fiscal year 2026 municipal transfers, other than we have alerted all department heads, both at a department head meeting, our town accountant, with a form to help us understand the transfers that are needed. I've gotten a few reports from different departments, notably legal, which falls into the town administrator's budget. Town administrator's salary line will be another one, just because you've had some changes over time. Facilities is one where they're within the functional segment there, they're going to move some money around to cover project costs. Some of our staff, we've learned, we're just never told about longevity and how to use it. So we're sort of covering that up right now in terms of like making sure it's in the right bucket, it's covered. So that'll be a transfer that gets cleaned up. If you look at like the police BVA, like they've been really high end on the OT. So, the chief's going to move some numbers around to make sure we're keeping even there, because they're short staffed. So the OT budget went up, but then the regular wages stayed flat. So there'll be some movement there. June 30th, I'll have more of like a PowerPoint presentation for this, just to help kind of break it down for us. And then I'll also send that same explanation to FinCom and either join them for an early July meeting, because we have until like midway through July to clean this up. So we got a little bit of time. We do it by functional segment. So if you remember a town meeting, like I presented it was select board, town administrator, land use, treasurer, collector, accounting,
General government.
general government. Yeah, like there's some ways we can play around with the money in there. But I think it's important, as we were just talking about where our dollars are going, is here's a presentation for where we came up short, what it means maybe for years to come. So,
And if I can get some of those legal, I can get that for FinCom, I think that would be helpful. So I'll try and get,
Yeah.
that's on me. So.
Yeah.
the next couple weeks.
So I owe you some things in there. I'll probably be emailing the select board thread with either a PowerPoint, not for deliberation on the thread, but just for your own background education for 6:30 or the 7 meeting, wherever we meet after that.
So we can vote and transfer where needed.
Yeah, before we jump ahead, I'm gonna just say hi to Attorney Solomon. We actually voted and approved out of session, so you're good to go. Thank you, sir. You got your time back for the night, so
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
have a great night.
You too. Good night.
7.4, this is fun. We had asked our staff at a department head meeting and with some guidance from you folks in regards to summer hours. The thought was the cost of utilities are to the moon. That'll be one of the year-end transfers, is because our utility bills are quite high.
Our air conditioner's off right now.
The AC is off, which would be great. But I did hear back from a handful of departments, notably your TA's office, town clerk's office, assessor's office, treasurer, collector, as well as our highway folks. And in most cases, because we have some union folks and non-union folks, we'll have to have a side letter of agreement with those union representatives, just to make sure they're fairly covered and we're not reducing their hours, or rather just shifting their hours. So I sort of pulled together this table here, and the goal really is starting next week, June 22 through August 28, which kind of aligns pretty closely with schools, that most parts of this building through the summertime, except for a couple Fridays, will be closed here on Fridays. Your staff will be at home either working, or they will lengthen their hours Monday through Thursday to be available to citizens. I think that'll be a nice win for treasurer collector's office, where they actually have quite a bit of admin work that they can sort of be diligent with shifting responsibilities. Similar to the assessor's office, they prefer the public hours with working remote on Fridays. Treasurer collector's office also has folks that can do email, that can take some PTO, because these folks work really hard for the town. Similar to the highway department, where you can imagine how hot it is late in the afternoon. So if we're able to get them out of work a little bit earlier, they could start earlier, and then they could be finished up before the real
Yeah,
late
I like how
afternoon.
they just bumped everything up Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's stuff when it's 100 degrees on a Friday, sometimes your brains are just tuckered out. So if we can get them home and hopefully with a cold drink at home and be able to relax, that's well worth it, in my opinion, in terms of advocating for staff. Town clerk's office, they have some flexibility in their schedule, but Jack and Harrison were great in terms of we can move some things around. We may have to be here on a given Friday. I think it was August 14th in particular for a voting registration. But I said to Jack, like, hey, if you're here, I'll come in that day, and we'll just make sure there's not just one person in the building, just I think for safety's sake. But in general,
But it's still their office to be open, but up here be closed still.
well, yeah, I'll be up here just for the sake that there's another person in the building, just because I think that's a little daunting when you're by yourself in a building, especially if it's publicly open. But in general, I think folks are pretty receptive to this idea. The cost of gasoline probably just going to increase, though. Maybe we'll get lucky and the Strait of Hormuz will open up fully. But utility costs are quite
Come
high.
down.
They're trying. I saw 391. I was like, oh, what a win! It's like,
Better than
yeah,
$7.99.
it's better than $7.99. So again, I'm going to check with a couple other departments. Like I didn't hear much from library, COA.
Library
For cemetery
closes
parks.
Saturdays for the summer already. So the trustees already
Okay.
have their Saturdays, they have their Saturdays off all summer, so
I didn't hear
they're
from
cooling
cemetery
center
parks.
too, so they like to be open.
Yeah, so I'll follow up with a couple other groups just to see if we add them into this mix. But I think it was a nice step forward. It's something I'd like to suggest we always do for the staff in the summer. You know, we're not making everyone's bankroll huge, but I think some of this flexibility could be a real win with childcare, utility costs, gasoline costs, all the things that are kind of soft wins for the employees. Yeah.
So I guess then the onus is on to make sure that the facilities are adjusted accordingly on Fridays in this building.
Yep. So he's great because he'll come in and turn off the thermostats late at night or turn them on in the morning if it's really cold. So, you know, I encourage him to keep doing that because he's essentially a 24/7 employee as needed. So we don't have like smart tech here. I'd love to like have it be like an Ecobee or like a Nest thermostat. We just haven't gotten to that. So maybe someday. Really for you guys, it's just a motion to approve the remote hours as presented, and perhaps suggest your town administrator bring any more forward if any other departments offer or make the request.
I can do that. I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the proposed summer operating hours for Memorial Hall and ask Kieran to keep working with other departments that want to jump on board with summer hours
I'm going to include highway as well.
and highway.
And highway,
Yeah.
they're at the bottom there. So
They are at the bottom.
Laura Schiffern, second.
one thing is I will get the side letter agreement with our union folks because we want to make sure they're protected.
Yeah.
And I'll bring that forward to you guys to sign once we have it. So
Did you want that in the motion?
yeah, maybe amend the motion to pending side letter agreement proposal to be retroactive to June 22.
So moved.
Laura Schiffern, second,
And the motion has amended.
as amended.
Any questions?
No.
Roll call.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes.
I'll put this schedule online for the folks listening at home. You know, Jack and the town clerk's office are great about putting little banners to say, hey, town hall hours, but we'll keep doubling down. We'll get it on Facebook. We'll put it on the doors. With this for June 30 will come the shifting of the posting. So currently we post online as a courtesy and we have to post on the board outside the building here. I may suggest that we flip that around and we post as the courtesy on the board outside the building, but we use our online tool as the primary
Posting location for meetings, agendas.
Yep.
That allows a lot more flexibility for the clerk's office, and they have some ideas of how that could make their office more efficient, meeting postings more efficient, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even you think like when I generate an agenda, the Zoom link in a PDF, you know, is active, but then when they have to scan it and print it, that Zoom link is deactivated. Just everything could be a little bit more streamlined. So that'll come at 6:30.
Correct.
Changing the open meeting law,
Yeah, that'll be-
posting primary location.
well, and even if you think of like the winter time, like I was chatting with Harrison, he had to trudge through the snow, you know, to get over here during one of the winter storms because we like this is our official posting location. I'm like, we can work on that. So yeah, we'll get that
Yep.
sort of resolved with their collaboration. So
7.5 MOA for highway, water, and supervisors bargaining units.
yes, so we have ratified agreements from those two union groups. It's a one-year contract. I'd sort of shared with you guys leading up to this, the different merits of those groups in terms of their contract characteristics. You would just make a motion to sign out a session. It is worth noting that we will be kicking off the union negotiations next year in early January, early February, as we look to get to a longer agreement and also be very aware of the town's financial sort of constraints for what that means. But you know, we had a handful of meetings with each of these groups. We got to the finish line. Yeah, I think this is a fine and fair one-year agreement. So the motion would be to look.
I think so.
I, Sarah Logan,
I was about to spin through my head.
move to approve the memorandum of agreement between the town and the highway water bargaining unit and authorize the chair to execute the agreement.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any questions?
No.
And thanks to everybody who worked really hard on that. Council, PA's office, union reps.
It'll be all three of you that we put stamps on for, just as an.
Oh, okay.
So,
So you can take out the chair part of that one.
Okay.
And then
amended to not
Remove.
authorize the sheriff. Remove the sheriff.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah
Roll call
Logan,
vote.
yes.
Valerie Good, yes.
As amended, right?
As amended, yes. I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the memorandum of agreement between the town and the supervisors bargaining unit and authorize stamping outside of,
Session.
out of session. Get rid of
Laura
that.
Schiffern, second.
Excellent.
Roll call?
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Good, yes. Just for clarification, the first one we agreed to sign out of session also.
Yes.
Mhm.
Both.
Cool. All right, what was next for us?
Hold on, getting, this is Massachusetts, 7.6, Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, possible land acquisition on Brookline Road.
Yep, so there's a parcel for sale just as you cross over the line from New Hampshire, depending which way you're going, or as you're crossing into New Hampshire. It's about 23 acres.
I think it's in there, the little,
Yep, the map, I was gonna explain it, and then it's been on the market for quite some time. Looks like no one's really put a bid in, but then DCR has made a proposal to the landowners. Let's see, I'll put the map up because that's a little bit more intuitive. Exhibit A here.
it's surrounded by DCR land
It is,
already.
yeah, it's all national forest there, so.
And that is Department of Conservation and Recreation,
Correct.
DCR.
So it's just highlighted in red here, for those that are looking at home.
Which basically extends Townsend State Forest right to the line there,
Mhm.
tippity corner of Townsend.
So there is actually a notice that you should read out.
Yep. I can pull it up. You want me to?
It's that right
Yeah.
there.
I, Valerie Goodrich, as a member of the Select Board of the Town of Townsend, Massachusetts, do hereby certify that on June 16th, 2026, it was announced at a public meeting of the Select Board that the Department of Conservation and Recreation may acquire the land located in Townsend as shown on the locust map marked Exhibit A for conservation and recreation purposes.
I'm good with that.
I think,
I think it's just a notice basically to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Publicly announced.
and we have to, announce it within 120 days of the notice. Carry on.
Okay, so we've announced it and that's it. We don't have anything further to do with it. Nope.
Open up.
Yeah.
Great,
Is there a motion?
Yes, I, Sarah Logan, move to support the Mass DCR proposed land acquisition on Brookline Road and authorize the chair to sign any related correspondence.
Sounds good.
That was a period.
Yep.
And that's, there was more, but I don't need to read that.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura Schiffern, second.
any other questions?
That's great.
Roll call vote,
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
and Valerie Goodrich, yes. I'll make sure to sign up for you.
Excellent.
Then we go on to 7.6. GPI scope expansion on Brookline Street.
7.7, but
Sorry.
so 7.7 GPI scope expansion street is related to, they retooled their contract with us in our highway department for the assistance in regards to Brookline Street. I will bring this up on the screen here. Let's see here.
Can you remind me of the funding for this?
So the contract with GPI is using Chapter 90 funds, and then the Mass Dot, the actual physical work done by Detour Construction, which we just approved, is Mass Complete Streets Program. You've seen that they've already started with the pole lineup, and they're going to start work next week. So those that are commuting in that area, you'll endure some traffic along the way. GPI has been great. Part of this contract for Complete Streets will also involve GPI being the reporting to MassDOT. There's weekly statements and then quarterly reports, and then all the different procurement processes. It's nice to have a real expert in the field such as GPI be with us during this project. So before you was just the work that led up to the bid in engineering. Sure. it's just an agreement, it's just the contract, so.
It's all, have to ask where money's coming from.
Yep, chapter 90, this is
Yeah.
exactly the type of project that you want to use.
Exactly. No, I agree, 100%. Any
I
questions?
thought it was signed.
So this
This is
An
the-
amendment.
is the amendment to the initial contract with GPI.
Okay, no,
It's
I
what-
thought what I was looking at was signed.
The-
What
Signed
we
by
had in
GBI.
SharePoint? No, looks like that. Yeah, okay, signed by that. I knew I saw something.
Yeah, you guys signed the detour construction. And that's who's doing like the digging. This is for the engineer work that led up to it. So. It's confusing. I know.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the proposed scope expansion with GPI for the Brookline Street project and authorize the chair to execute any necessary documents.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Any questions?
No.
Roll call.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
And Valerie Goodrich, yes.
For those at home, GPI stands for Greenman Peterson Incorporated. It's an engineering firm in this area. So
7.8 Harbor Trace WTP Stormwater Certificate of Completion.
yeah, this is an exciting one.
Exciting.
Yeah. So stormwater certificates of completion always take quite a bit of time. We have before us the final sign off, for that certificate of completion. It's been approved by, the chair of the planning board, the applicant, which is the water department, Mr. David Vijay, and then the town is the landowner. So you can authorize your town administrator to sign said stormwater certificate of completion.
Oh, I see.
I, Sarah Logan, move to accept the Harbor Trace Water Treatment Plant Stormwater Certificate of Completion as presented
And authorize
and authorize town administrator to sign.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Exciting. I think this is like the final step in that whole project.
It should
right?
be.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. Takes a long time, stormwater for any project.
Yeah, it's good. You wanted to make sure it's all.
Yeah, and this gets teed up for the June 22 planning board meeting, because this will help them close it out.
Okay, great. Any other questions, concerns? Roll call.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
And Valerie Goodrich, yes.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Moving. Oh, yes, I forgot. Sabrina, you're looking out for Sabrina.
Yeah.
The AI.
I know.
If I don't say
She's
roll
not
call
gonna get it
vote.
if it's not
Yeah.
there.
Thank you.
No problem.
7.9, approved to sublease a portion of cell tower lease from SBA to Cellco Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless.
Yeah, this was one that Sabrina shared with me in regards to our cell tower at 12 Dudley Road.
It's behind the library.
It's just adding another portion of it to be for Verizon services. So for those with Verizon, your service gets better.
Maybe
Oh,
you'll have
this is
this option at my
Cellco.
house.
Yeah. Depends on how far it can go. For what it's worth, these aren't real money makers for the town, but they do have to have approval from.
And I believe it was for 3 and 2 were already done. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So this would be the third,
Third and final one to be added onto this.
Okay.
and there's no other problems. Legally with any
Yeah,
of it.
now building department, he said, this is great, this is what it's for. So,
Okay. I, Sarah Logan, move to approve the request to sublease a portion of the existing cell tower lease from SBA to Cellco Partnership doing business as Verizon Wireless, subject to review by town council if required.
Laura Schiffern, second.
Question?
I think you sign it as chair. That's the only thing I wasn't sure of.
I think, yeah. I'll take an amendment.
And have, chair of the board sign out of session.
I can sign it, but
That's okay.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, you're starting Verizon?
No, actually, I don't. I'm a T-Mobile guy.
That's why you don't want to sign it. I get it. I'll take the motion as amended. Roll call vote.
Second the amendment, Laura Schiffern. Laura Schiffern, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
And Valerie Goodrich, yes. Do you have the pinch out? Can I sign it? We can do that. then.
Yep.
7.10. Payroll and bills payable warrants.
I, Sarah Logan, move to approve and sign the payroll and bills payable warrants as presented.
I actually have not
Mhm.
gotten them, so
Oh.
Out of session. with
Out of
signature
session
stamps.
with signature stamps.
yeah, that would be ideal.
So that'll be tomorrow instead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Laura Schifrin, second the motion.
Roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, yes?
Sarah Logan, yes.
Very good at Jess. 8.1, town administrator.
Excellent. Yeah. So I whipped this together a few hours ago. You guys have kept me busy. So I will put this up on the screen and I will share with you different things that are going on. And again, I do have a goal, maybe a week of July 4th. I'll try to get these online, just so there's a history of town administrator reports. It's kind of hanging out there.
Maybe we can work with Sabrina to get the legal stuff ended together all in one foul swoop.
Yeah, because I think we actually have copies of all the PDFs of these, so that they should be easy to drop up there. It's just making
Yeah.
sure they're,
And then I'm just gonna work with council not to spend their money.
yeah.
Time.
So I'll start off with some department updates, staff and PTO. A lot of our staff, department heads, different groups are making sure they use their earned and well-earned PTO before the close of the fiscal year. So if we have any residents at home looking for folks in different departments, I don't want to specify the departments just because people have some privacy at home. But if you're looking for someone and you don't get an answer, feel free to email or call the town administrator's office, and I can share with you if that person's available or there's a plan B in the event that they're out. Happy to provide that additional information. From my own side of things, I'll be assisting land use with the planning board and I think a ZBA meeting. The planning board meeting's on June 22. That's a later start. I think that's a 6 p.m. kickoff. So I may shift my hours a bit that day just to accommodate the scheduling needs for that planning board meeting. Unsure if I'm necessary for the 29 ZBA meeting. I don't think I am, but I can't remember if the staff member had asked me for coverage or not, but I'll follow up on that. Green communities, we had done this with Nelson when he was still your town administrator. He had approved a contract with Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission to complete work in regards to the Rise Engineering Lighting project.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they never, we actually never signed the contract, but the select board had approved the work. So you never signed the contract. So I went ahead and signed it and,
There were a few things we did not know from
Yes.
a period of time.
Correct.
so again, went ahead and signed that, got it over to MRPC, and we are gonna leverage them, and Glenn and that group, to get that RISE reporting, DOER, Department of Environmental Regulations. There's some funky acronym to close out that electrical reporting and finish up that project. On a really exciting note, this is still being completely baked out, but the town received encouraging preliminary feedback on a Moody's rating. We are a Moody's rating of uppercase A, lowercase a3, which is excellent. Great job, hard work of the select board, your different departments, your treasurer collector's office, your accounting. This is really a nice badge of honor for a town, especially a town with as much sort of complex financial issues going on, that you still remain very accredited. I'll share this with FinCom, the draft report with the chair. They should be proud of themselves as well for being so diligent.
I would say you can, when I got into this role, someone said it's hard accounting, but it's done well.
Right. Yeah. Continuing down this path, Winter Recovery Assistance Program, its acronym is WRAP. Margaret Scarsdale let us know that we received $226,000 through the Winter Recovery Assistance Program, which was kicked off back in 2023. So this will be in addition to our Chapter 90 funding that the town gets. So
that's money that we didn't get yet? I was
haven't gotten
trying
it.
to get, okay.
Yeah, haven't got, and I asked that question too. It's a little
Trying to get
tough
that out of the
follow.
letter.
Yeah. So, that is something that will be incoming. Really, the true purpose of those funds is to, fill potholes, fix guardrails if the plow hit them. It's sort of a catch-all for different,
There's an emergency on foreseen?
Not really unforeseen, but it has to be, for repairs to different things that have gone on in the town as a result of winter. So like if there was a drainage issue because of the winter, this would be something you want to work through. Is it sidewalk issues that you want to have repaired? You could use some of this funding. My head quickly goes to some of the infrastructure issues, some of our drainage issues could be, improved as a result of some of these funding opportunities. Is it just painting or is it just patching the library sidewalks because they got beat up big time because of
They have
the
snow and
winter?
ice problems with the cement
Yeah.
that have developed, and the problem is it's one of our very handicapped accessible buildings. Straight wheel in, and now you've got this
So it's
medley of concrete.
we're waiting to hear back from Scarsdale on the precise sort of delivery mechanism of the funding. We've had it in years past, but it's a great victory for a financially cash-strapped town to have that extra funding for some. You could break it up. You could put $100K towards paving. There are some roads where you and I could step into the pothole and we'd be up to our waist. Those could really use some attention. So I'll work with Highway Superintendent, Mr. Jim Smith, in regards to some of these funds. So that's a very exciting topic. The Brookline Street Sidewalk project, as we touched on earlier, really begins in earnest next week. Detour Construction will be the contractor, GPI Engineering providing construction administration and sort of clerk of the works observation services. This is being funded through a MassDOT Complete Streets program, and hopefully will provide some nice improvements along that area.
At least it's after the 20th.
Yeah, after the parade.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous stuff for the summer. School is sort of coming to a close. So for folks at home, I know just looking out the window today, there's a few more pedestrians out. There's kiddos around, people out with dogs, animals. Traffic gets a little hairier when it's hot in summer days. You're a little tuckered out, but for those in the town, just be mindful of roadways, trails, sidewalks, and especially with the 250th anniversary parade coming up, which is June 20th. It's another day of hopefully great weather and celebratory moments, but for those in cars, just be more mindful of traffic. We touched on the union agreements. Thank you to the employees, our AFSCME representatives, and the town staff for the collaboration efforts there, town council as well. And then we also touched on summer hours. We're looking to kick this off starting next week. So that's exciting for many of our employees. On the grant side of things, I did apply for one for the town through our auditor and insurance representatives, the Mega Group. And the goal is to get about $5,000 in some workplace safety improvements, some ergonomic equipment for some of our aging workstations, some highway department safety equipment. And then I've been here for more than a year now, and I think it's always a good thing once a year, once every other year, to have CPR, AED, and first aid training. Some of that program is offered by our fire department.
So that is actually something I'll pull in from when I was in the trustees. We constantly said we want to pass that up to this board and say, hey, it'd be great if an employee and volunteer board member, like first aid CPR training could be held.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all very in a public space a lot, and it's not required, just offered.
Yeah, I think it's CPR regulations change over time, especially for kiddos and such. So it's not a bad thing every couple of years to have a refresher, because I think that the cert only lasts 2 years. Last but not least, Kids Country Gates. I've been working with the committee members. I owed them a couple emails, and Karen's probably so sick of me because I emailed her late last night. We need to replace the gate mechanism, the unlocking and closing mechanism at the Kids Country Gate, to be more ADA compliant, and also to latch. So when like a kiddo runs through it, it closes behind them and doesn't just stay open, because in the event that a kiddo could run back out into the road, and a parent or a guardian might be like, I'm trying to tend to Kieran, and Cormac ran right out there. As my younger brother, he would do that. So, that's just something that they really wanted, and I'm able to sort of identify a little bucket of money in the land use professional services bucket to cover that cost. It's about $575. And
So my next question, how much?
That's a small one. So we'll get
And the
that done.
safety one, so.
Safety one, and it's it's freshly paved out there, so people are flying up and down Turnpike Road because a nice paved road means
Yeah.
people drive faster. Potholes are the best deterrent for speeding because one pop tire and you're frustrated. So, but that is all I have on the TA side of reporting for now. So I do have some time off coming. June seems like a wacky month for me, travel wise and stuff. I think that's just the way it's always been in my life. So here, always available on the phone, but I'll text you guys or email you guys with my schedule if it changes. So.
And 8.2 liaisons, before I want to start us off. with some
I was just gonna
important
mention about the MMA meeting. We've joined with them.
Yep, that's 6. You can go ahead though.
30 seconds?
Well, yeah, they're coming in. They have a minute or two to get settled. Go ahead, take your time.
Well, there's a number of things, but I will, and I've mentioned this to Kieran, it was very informative. And I think there's gonna be slides that should be sent. I've not gotten them yet. I
There
think,
was last year, and they're usually available on the MMA website also.
yeah,
Okay.
well, it was great. I have to get up early and be there, but I thought that it was very worth it. I mentioned to Karen, one of the things that was mentioned there and strongly encouraged was to have a financial team that be for union negotiations that does not include the selectmen. That it should be the town administrator and legal counsel. And they couldn't say it enough times.
I think that's kind of what we're moving towards, so.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully it's gonna be in this contract, but that's what happens.
Job description, yeah, we can bring that up, but
Okay.
I'll put it on agenda, Lori, so just make sure.
One of the things I didn't discuss and I asked them about, and then it was like a light bulb, was liaison. The liaison work that the select board members do. And not enough emphasis is put on that because it's a lot. You know, and we talked about a number of boards that were still 3-member. That are thinking of going to 5 just because of that. And also I was surprised to see that there are select board people that are 20 and 30 years in that position. And I couldn't imagine it in my wildest dreams.
I was 6.
Actually, 6 was
6 for me, and then my colleague Leah in her 16th year.
16. I really think it depends on
The
the
village.
experience. Yeah.
But you have no knowledge, but I think it's
Okay.
a lofty goal to create an environment that someone feel like that was.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna report on anything else.
Okay, you good?
Yeah,
Sure.
Think about that.
Yeah, do you guys wanna, or you want to stay there? You wanna stay there?
Yeah.
Come on in.
The only thing is, I don't know if I officially formed my Jack. That our Jack? Jack Moore, Jack M, so I don't even know if we have
No,
an
it's
official
for-
forum.
At
Because I
6
don't know.
o'clock, so, I mean, we can give it another minute and finish up.
I didn't get any other responses, but Jack did the,
What's quorum for you, or?
well, I think it's 3.
read, because he's just coming on, and she's just coming on.
Oh,
So the question is,
you need Natalie
you
and
taking-
Jack,
yeah,
John, Jack.
yeah,
Jack Moran.
Usually he comes online.
I don't know if there's more, maybe.
Maybe that's on there too.
TCAM is the one who approves folks to come
It
in.
says 7 people, so I don't know if there's somebody else on the other side.
Is there anybody out there from
Um,
Housing Authority that's looking to get into a joint meeting? Just speak up.
Who's AK?
That's just a resident watching.
Folks, Jack Moran is on his way up to you.
Okay, thanks,
Oh,
Jack.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So we'll give that
So
for a
in
second.
that case,
I think that,
you're okay because you only have 3
Right.
already on, right? Is Hartley already voted on?
So then that goes back to the ongoing discussion of, I think it's on the agenda that we are still accepting Hartley, even though he was voted on, so he was on the ballot.
Oh,
So I didn't know
He was
if
on
the
the-
select board
oh,
still
did he
needed to
get
do
sworn
anything.
in?
Yes,
Oh, then if he's sworn in and he was elected,
yeah,
yeah, we don't
He's
have to
elected.
appoint.
right, so that's what I think, but it was two, so I don't know.
Well,
You know,
guess
it's a
coming
write-in.
up, you've got your quorum then with Hartley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other liaison things while we're waiting? I think Kieran covered most of my stuff with the finance stuff, and then, I think we're gonna be setting up hopefully a time to talk to schools soon on a couple issues there, and then we'll report back to you guys. Cause that's, pretty part of budget, getting good work and going next year.
I don't know, I can call the meeting and we don't have Jack here.
Well, you need, well, I'll call mine forward and then you'll need some first. So I'd like to call a joint meeting with the Housing Authority to order for, the select board. Roll call,
Laura Schifrin here.
Sarah Logan here.
and Valerie Goodrich here at 6:04. To wait, oh, here he comes.
He's coming.
Howdy.
Hi, we're doing roll call right now.
Oh, right.
So say your name and here
Join
we
the
go.
party.
You can sit wherever you'd like.
Say who you are.
Oh, Jack Moran, I'm
Perhaps.
with the Townsend Housing Authority.
I read Camden Townsend Housing.
Hartley Flushaw, Townsend Housing Authority.
Especially, sorry.
Right.
So we have a couple of appointments to make.
Yes, I, Sarah Logan, move to appoint Bernadette Oinonen, thank you, as tenant representative to the Housing Authority for a term commencing June 16th, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2028.
Laura Schifrin second.
And, want me to roll call then you guys? Sure, roll call vote for the select board,
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
and Valerie Goodrich, yes.
Jack Moran, yes.
Irene Condon, yes.
Hartley Flushaw, yes.
Welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you for
And thank you for
volunteering.
volunteering, yeah. And then we also have a, state appointed,
Okay,
yes.
Not
Who's
me
you-
Okay.
personally.
I
I
know
don't know who is, are you part of?
there's no
this?
name.
So we're not, we don't currently have an assigned state appointee,
Yes.
so are we able to have discussion?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
It's,
so,
we're in open meeting, so,
Okay.
Fred,
yeah, are you open to,
I personally can't, I'm on 4 committees with 4 kids.
you're on four committees, okay. Is there an expectation that it has to be a chair, a vice chair, or somebody of a certain status on the committee?
No,
or
but
is it open to any committee members?
Yes, there are.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, okay, only because I've been through it a couple of times. I've not been one, but I've been through 3 appointments of state reps from Housing Authority. It takes a while to get it. I would ask some help from Margaret Scarsdale because the last one we got help with was, okay, no, our last representative.
Jazz.
No, yes, he was the state rep, and, it was Sheila Harrington
Okay,
that got him through
sure.
that, process. So I would reach out to Margaret for help to get that moved along, and it can be any one of you.
What is the time and move to?
Yeah, I guess that, I don't wanna impose on anyone, I'll be honest. I'm, you know, my work schedule is packed. But if,
It would be a new experience
So this would be the liaison with
with the state.
the state.
Mhm.
Okay, well, if,
You do have to make out an application and get assistance, to work through the process.
okay,
But your board can, nominate you, if you will, to the state. And then you get to attend their meetings. I don't think they're in person necessarily,
Okay.
but, and you'll hear what's going on in the whole state and hopefully bring stuff back to the town.
Okay. It sounds interesting. So I'd be meeting with, among other people, Representative Scarsdale and others from state government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's other towns representatives too, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're
If they have
representative
up-
from
you guys think I'm
Pepperell.
up to it, I'll be happy to.
Just
Every-
giving us feedback.
Every
you know,
housing
so-
authority
Yeah.
has a state
You
rep.
good? Hey, he's
Or
just
they
gonna vote
can
in,
have
you know,
a state
Yeah,
rep.
I think they have.
Throw
We
you,
have not.
throw you in the deep end. No,
I move that Harley Plishaw is
our state.
nominated to be our state representative. Do we
I second.
need to
With the,
vote on that,
with the
or
term, with the term, June 16th, 2026 to June 13th, 2027.
June 2026 to June 2027.
I second that.
It's like a 5-year appointment.
3 years, I thought I said 3.
Oh,
Why do I have a 1-year date?
I have a 1-year date.
I don't know why you have a 1-year date. Be lucky if he's appointed in a year.
I didn't
We
write-
can amend that at a later time if we need to. We probably should check with Sabrina, because I know there was some questions regarding this. So let's just go with
Okay.
that, and we can amend it to increase it.
I
Yeah,
have we'll just say it's 1 year as of right now, unless it's 3 years, and we approve the 3 years as well.
you won't see the appointment.
Yeah.
No, it takes a long time. So, but find out.
Yeah.
And so you've made that vote anyway.
Fine, we have to say yes, so does
Yeah, we made the motion, so roll call vote, Jack Moran, yes.
Irene Conklin, yes, and you can vote. Oh, you can't vote, you have to.
Just to get sworn
Am I
in.
allowed to vote for myself?
Yeah,
Okay, Harley Plishaw, yes.
You always should. You gotta vote for yourself.
Sarah, you want to make a motion for us?
Yes,
They want to break the conflict of interest.
and Bernadette can actually,
No, she has to be sworn in.
I know that. She can go downstairs and do it on her way home.
If Jack's still here.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
really?
should be till 8 o'clock.
He was here just now.
Yeah,
all right, I, Sarah Logan, move to appoint Hartley Pletchaw, sorry if I butchered your name, as the state appointed representative to the Housing Authority for a term commencing June 16th, 2026 and ending June 13th, 2027, to possibly amend those, that term at a later date.
Laura Schifrin second.
Thanks, Sarah. Roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Jess, and thank you for that background, Lori, on this
And I just-
process.
Thanks for
And here's the
volunteering.
actual, if you guys wanna see it, it does say 3 years for the initial and 5 years for
Oh.
billing.
And I'm wondering if that was a typo, but we
Could be.
will, we can.
Then
update
we
that.
can amend it to whatever it is at the next meeting, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't
I
need to
just
join
emailed you.
to do that. Okay. All right, very good. We'll take care of it.
Awesome.
And then we just
You
need to
guys
know.
can, you can
next
motion
date
to
for
adjourn. That
us.
was all you had to do. Or you could, if you have anything to talk about, you can.
If we can just say next date for meeting, I think
Um,
we did say the last one, and I think I emailed you, and you just said we're looking for, since, next meeting, I think we said a certain time was good for everybody. And now I'm
This time is
Time.
generally a pretty decent.
I know, but we kind of said at one of the meetings, it's like this was like the third. I'm trying to see my minutes from the last one, if you see them quick.
I think I said maybe Thursdays,
I think that was right. I do remember.
mostly because I can remember the alliteration.
Was third Thursday, okay, and what's the next one for that is? That's the agenda. I'm sorry, we haven't been able to be in the room together.
I'll
Thursday,
close.
the 25th.
I'll take a motion to close our joint meeting while you guys are talking.
Yeah.
I'll take a motion to close the joint meeting. Select board.
Sarah,
I'm talking
6:13.
about,
what is it?
I'll second it for the Townsend with our joint meeting with the
What,
You guys are doing-
housing.
Thank you.
talking about next week to have something
close,
officially, so we
joint
can
meeting.
go over all the different stuff.
Yes. Richard
Are you guys
Gillespie,
available
roll call.
on- No, that's.
Sarah Logan, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Without a yes.
Maybe, at the more.
Sorry, I was like,
Oh, yeah, you did say six.
2 meetings at once is interesting to me.
a lot of people talk.
On the, we're meeting today right now. President, no, this is July 16th. So July 16th at 6 p.m. But did we want to try to meet?
And that's a Thursday.
Yes, third Thursday. Today is, I can't do tomorrow, and if we wanted to try to do the 25th, you wanted to try to do the 4th, just to.
So, can I just ask, so I had a conversation with the folks from Arca,
The next meeting dates,
and,
next on
but
the agenda.
I thought it might be.
For us, it's just June 30.
For them to actually meet with all of us. rather
And
than just
July 7th.
trying to-
Yeah, can we have a meeting or something?
Yeah, so they were open to that. And I think what we, got from them was a Monday evening or Monday afternoon
Mhm.
time slot, seemed like it would be, decent.
May I say something here? Bree and I are both residents of, you know that, okay. of Townsend.
But I'm appointed, you're elected.
Oh,
Yes,
well, that's
There is
true.
a difference.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I know
I
there
just
was,
don't want there to be any conflict. of
No.
interest.
no. But I thought it was interest to want to, speak with the management or just understand sort of what their plan is and how they operate. So rather than try to filter it through my phone call, I thought it might be,
Okay.
Good for
nice
us,
for everyone to have.
especially if we're
opportunity.
all new, I feel like.
Right, so if, like what I could aim for is to try to get them, for a Monday afternoon or evening at some point in the next few weeks, if we can find one.
How about the
that
29th?
works.
That's the 29th. And I don't think.
June 29th, right?
Yes.
June 29th, that would be, it's about 2 weeks, so.
I don't know about their
Just to let you know, I also work part-time for TCAM. This gentleman here is the guy I report to. Yeah, I don't think there's.
Evening,
Yeah,
alright.
assigned you to for 29. I don't think, okay, so I guess the 29th is open for me.
Yes, so
And say like a 4 o'clock time slot, I think they work generally like 9 to 5, where they can get it late that day. And, I can.
They can tell you yes or no.
I could do a little earlier too. I don't know, 3 o'clock or sometimes.
Okay, well, I'm open that day, any time. is good.
We'll do any
I'll
time.
do for sometime on the 29th to see if we can get them to join us and we'll.
If you can't make a 4, maybe it could be a 3 or 2.
Yeah.
But if we can make that the date, that would be
Yeah,
great.
okay.
And then the next one following, because we already had that, was gonna be the 3rd Thursday, so the 16th.
Thursday in July.
Yes, and then start that the 3rd Thursday. Okay,
So meeting scheduled for 3rd Thursday, July 16th at 6 p.m. And tentatively, Monday, the 29th for a meeting with the RCAP management for the Townsend housing. Townsend Woods and Happers.
Okay, so June 29th and July 16th.
yes,
Okay.
okay, I think we can adjourn. And then we can do their meeting.
That's okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, I second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thanks, guys, for coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
So date of next meetings, we have a meeting on June 30th. I believe we're gonna do 6 o'clock. Okay, Lori can do later.
Yeah.
That was kind of a late addition to the meeting.
Yes,
okay.
I can do later.
6, yeah, 6
or
o'clock.
later.
And
Yes, I
so
do know him very well.
I'm just gonna wait until the volume dies down a little bit in here.
Congratulations to you too.
Yeah. Thanks for your work.
Sorry, guys, they just can't hear us when there's loud background. Sorry. It's no worries. So yeah, our next meeting will be on the 30th at 6 p.m. This was kind of a late addition to our meeting schedule, so there was no space available in town hall. So we're gonna take this show on the road and go over to the library trustee room. They're open from 6 to 8
Oh,
on the
okay.
30th. If anybody wants to come and have some fun with us, we'll be over at the library.
Trustee room in the library, is that down like
Back corner. The library staff will help us, and I'm gonna work with Dave to make sure we're all set to. Yeah, I was doing the screening committee meetings over there,
Oh,
and they have an owl, so we should be able to get,
All you would need from me would be is a Zoom link.
that's perfect. So that'll be on the 30th, and then we'll be back here in our lovely chambers on the 7th.
What time on the 7th?
Trying to do 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Does that work?
yeah, sure.
Great, so, that being said, I think, gonna make a motion for some executive sessions.
Awesome.
We already did 10.1, I value good.
Oh, you did, we did 10.1.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, don't surprise me, doing well. I value Goodrich move into executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to pending litigation where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town, and the chair so declares. Roman Ramirez, the town of Townsend, Middlesex County Superior Court, docket number 2681 CV 01140, and I value Goodrich so do declare. 10.3, executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and the chair so declares. ASME Local 93 Clerical Union, Supervisors Union, Highway Water Union, I value Goodrich so do declare. Executive session 10.4, pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Police union, I value Goodrich so do declare. An executive session 10.5, pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel and contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Town administrator, I value Goodrich so do declare.
Sarah Logan, second.
Questions? And we will be adjourning from executive session.
Sarah,
Roll call vote.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
it's a spider.
Right.
6:20.
It was just floating in the air.
Roll call vote,
Did it go
Sarah.
up? Oh,
Roll
hold on.
call.
Here. Sarah Logan, yes.
Valerie Goodrich, yes. And thanks, TK. We
Right
will be
there.
adjourning from
Really tiny. but-
executive session. Thanks, everybody, and maybe come out to the library.
The recording has stopped.
Thanks, TK.
I don't see spiders, and it was floating.
Okay, they're gone. It's just us now. Okay, so the select board meeting is over. And I put up my like and subscribe thing so that you guys can, you know the deal. You know what I always want. Like and subscribe. Like the video, even if you don't. I can't help it. Okay, so that's gone. Okay, so that was the select board meeting. They're now into executive session negotiating, I think, 2 or 3 contracts, and then there's still a lawsuit regarding public records that's going on, and I'm not involved in it. So they're going to be talking about that. I think they're going to talk about that first. So anyway, I think yeah, that's gone. That's gone. Okay. What did they do in this meeting? All right, they talked about the election stuff, and I mean, there was a lot of interesting information that I got to follow up on. But yeah, I mean, that was that. They're coming back on the 30th. They talked about municipal transfers. I'm disappointed again. They're waiting too long in the year. They should have. The transfer season opens up in the middle of May, and here we are. It's been a problem the last couple of years. The select board thinks that they get to, they just get FinCom sign off, and that's not how it works. This has to be an ongoing procedure, and FinCom needs to be really engaged with this process, and they can't wait till the last day of the month. They just can't. Because if FinCom said, no, we need more information, then the transfer does not happen, because if FinCom doesn't sign off on it, the transfer isn't going to happen. And it could put, and it should. I think This year, I think FinCom, because last year was such a shit show, that FinCom should put their foot down and say no. If there's anything's amiss, and they don't have a clear picture of what's happening, they should say no. We need more information. Even if the clock runs out, it's not the FinCom's fault that the clock runs out. It's the town administrator's fault for waiting too long, because you got to schedule meetings, and if they don't give FinCom time to schedule meetings and actually review things, tough shit. You're just not going to be able to make the transfer, and you're going to put the town into default, and that's the select board's fault. It's not the FinCom's fault. FinCom is not responsible for saving the select board. It's not their job, and they shouldn't. And they did it last year, and they were mad, and they said they weren't going to do it this year, and here we are again. So the FinCom said they're not going to play the game this year, and nothing's changed. It's going to be the same shit. So watch out, select board. If those transfers aren't clear and understandable and will meet the approval of the FinCom, you may not get them. Because it's not just, yeah, whatever. It's not it. That's not how it works. And we're totally incompetent on finance, both coming out of the select board's office and the finance committee, in my book. I mean, that's true anyway. And they were talking about having a financial team. The select board always get defensive. Lori Schifrin had gone to some meeting. I want to say it was, I don't know. I'm not sure what meeting it was. I'd have to go back. I know they're having a meeting for new select board members, but that's not Lori's thing. She might have, I have to look to see which meeting she was talking about, because there's always meetings going on with MMA. But she was talking about, they recommended, that you have a finance team. It's like, no shit. No shit. That's been decades. That's not a new idea. And they were like, "Oh, what you gonna do?" Valerie was like, "Oh yeah, we're almost there." No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. But okay, you are still far removed from doing anything financially appropriate. I just no. Last year was horrible. This year, not too far off from the same place. We're going to be in financial straits next July 1st. The money's going to quickly dissolve. Okay. What else happened in this meeting? I don't have the agenda up anymore. Let's see. Since you're here anyway, I might as well look for it again. What was on there? Because, sometimes they just go on, and I forget what they're saying. What month am I in? I'm not in July. Let's see. June 16th, select board. Agenda. What did they go over? I'll tell you one thing. They were a little confused on the housing authority appointment. It isn't a member of the housing authority that gets the state appointment. I just looked it up, and anybody out there, you can apply to the state to get a state appointment to our housing authority. It is not for elected or appointed members. It's a separate appointment from the governor's office to be appointed to our housing authority as the state rep. That's how Chaz got on there as in that position. It wasn't because he was already on the housing authority. That wasn't it at all, because it's a separate appointment. And then because I think it's a 5-member board. And yes, it's a 5-member board, 3 being elected, 1 being appointed by the select board as the tenant representative, which I don't know how they're doing that, because we don't have any housing. So I don't know. I'm confused on that particular appointment. But the state rep is a direct appointment from the governor's office. It has nothing to do with the select board, has nothing to do with the housing authority. They can make a recommendation, but somebody who wants to apply to be appointed and be the state representative, it is a big deal. It's a lot of additional work outside of being on the housing authority, because you have to be involved with the state more than you are on the housing authority. But but you're not already on the housing authority when you're the state rep. you're appointed by the governor. Somebody who's not, it doesn't even have anything to do with the housing authority can apply to the state. You could just Google that, housing authority state rep or state appointee, or housing authority state rep, state representative, and put that in, and you'll get the application if you're interested. Any of the towns that have this, that have a housing authority, should have that seat. And even if you're not living here in Townsend, you can do it in another town. Trust me. And that's for a town. Cities have some other thing. It's probably very similar. I was looking at it on the website while they were talking. I'm like, that doesn't sound right what Townsend's doing. And it didn't. It was wrong. But whatever. It does take a long time to get through. Or it did for Chaz. Chaz was our state rep, but we didn't have a state rep for years. And then I think, I don't know what the deal was. I really don't. I really don't. I think the only reason he got through was our state rep, or Sheila Harrington at the time, was pushing it through. But a lot of times you have to apply as an individual. And I want to say it was something in Chaz's resume that kept him off. I really do. I don't think it was, I think it's not normally, I don't think it was normal for that appointment to take that long. I think there's something off in that whole process. I'm not accusing anyone of wrongdoing. I'm saying there might be a reason why the governor's office did not appoint him. The governor at the time wasn't Healy. We're talking, what's his name? Damn. Our previous governor before Healy. I forgot his name. A lot of people liked him. I can't think of his name. Anyway, but he made the appointment. I want to say there's probably something. There was something that they didn't appoint Chaz for a reason, and I don't think, and they finally did with the pressure from Sheila Harrington. But I don't think. Yeah, it's confusing. Oh, it's not confusing. I think I question the whole process that happened with Chaz. And as a result of what became of Chaz, he resigned from, I don't know that the governor's office will be in a hurry to appoint anybody to Townsend, because Chaz was he was the state rep to the housing authority when he had to resign everything in shame. So having somebody like Chaz on a housing authority at all is pretty questionable judgment for anybody. And and the governor's office, of course, will know quite well why he really did resign. And it wasn't just, I can't do it anymore. Okay. Yeah, you can't. But I think that they're not going to be in a hurry. And with all the ethics, conflict of interest stuff going on with Townsend, I don't know that they're in a hurry to stick their neck out to appoint anyone to anything in Townsend unless they have to. And they don't have to do shit. That's just my opinion. Getting for outside agencies to get involved in Townsend outside of legal investigations, I think it's risky for anybody to go stick their neck out and do anything that would be good, unless it's completely away from corruption or bad decision making. Because especially this is an election year, they're not going to do it. It's not going to do it next year, maybe, but not. I think they're going to wait until there's no current active ethics investigation. If that day comes, they'll be more apt to do things. Let's see. What did they talk about? They really didn't. They talked about a lot of things that are not on this agenda. They sure did. And some of the things I'm familiar with, and they didn't know what they were talking about on some of them. Absolutely nonsense. And they know. Well, Kieran knows. He knows he was talking shit on one thing, but I can't mention it. Can't mention it. Nope. Can't mention it. All right. I guess I have nothing else. Let me see. I've been busy doing other things. I'm sorry about that, but I've been busy. Today I was out in my yard all day. I still didn't get half things done that I wanted to. Oh, I need this town's calendar again. What meetings are coming up? And there's nothing yet. The Gary Shepherd's ethics hearing is in August 5th. So we won't be doing that. I got to follow up with you guys. On last week, we had a lot of confusion about the Conservation Commission. They canceled their meeting but didn't tell anybody. So the two different Zoom links that were probably wrong to begin with. But they canceled the meeting at the last minute last week, which is why I left it up, because I want you to see what I tried to do. And based on what they were telling people, I can leave it up if I want. But tomorrow, the Conservation Commission is meeting, and they are supposedly going to have the same agenda as last week. There might be some changes, because it had to be submitted as a whole new agenda. So they might have made some changes from what it was last week. I'd have to check, and I really don't care. It's not that important for me to check that. They are talking about an SOP, which is a standard operating. It's not operation procedure. It's operating. Standard operating procedure development for trail creation and maintenance, which some people are really into. They really want to do something with that, because we do have a number of trails. Most of the trails, I think, in town are actually state, but we have town-owned properties, and there's trails that years ago, some of them were created, say, by Boy Scouts or something, or private groups, and they were created and originally set up so that you could find your way through. But most of them have been grown over. Some of them have been abutters have kind of stolen the property from the town, because nobody's been watching or participating. So they need to work. I think that's a project that Colby's really interested in. Let's see. They're talking about a little training. Oh yeah, they have the mandatory referral regarding the Kevin Smith property on Depot Street, which 1 Depot Street extension, which is fine. Everybody's doing that one. And it looks like this is an interesting one. I really want to see this one. I want to hear what they have to do, or how this works, and what the laws are on this. But they're going to be talking about emergency certificate for beaver removal. And this is apparently coming from, I don't know if haven't seen this on the Board of Health agenda, but it must be. I'm confused about that. But Board of Health emergency certificate for beaver removal. Oh, and this will be interesting. I'm going to see how they're going to tiptoe through this one. James DeRoyan, who's a conservation commissioner, is the applicant at 41 West Meadow Road. He's seeking permission to remove a beaver on his property. I'm not aware of the exact rules on beaver removal, but I know Over the years since I've lived here, there have been many issues regarding beavers. They can really screw up your life, especially if you've got water coming through your property. They can either cause you to be flooded out, or they can shut down your water supply. Like if you have a nice little brook that goes into a small lake, pond, something on your property, that might change drastically if a beaver is upstream and does something, builds their home there. But there are rules because beavers have rights. They have rights. Maybe more housing rights than we do, but they have rights. And we're not supposed to mess with them. But I don't know what this all entails. And where Jim Doroyan, I mean, he's a farmer, so he might know what he's asking for, but I don't know. But where he's a commissioner on the Conservation Commission, he has to walk a fine line. And I just don't. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. It's fine. He can make this application, I think. But it says it's coming out of the Board of Health, so it'd be interesting. And then, oh, nope. This is not on the 17th. I have to look to see when their next meeting is. But they're kicking the Townsend Historical Society, the tree thing, down the road. Okay. The tree caper. All right. So that I may do that one. I got something. I think I have 2 meetings tomorrow. None of which you guys are invited to. Sorry. See all events. The CPA committee's meeting on the 18th. That ought to be something. Maybe I can do that. Let me see my schedule. Oh. No. Oh, I've got a meeting. I have a class on the 18th. So I can't do anything with them. Yep. What else? Nope, that's all I have for everybody. Let me find myself again. All right, so I'm finally going to leave. I'm going to shut down this meeting, and I want to thank everybody for watching and being interested in my reporting of town government. So, okay, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. And don't forget, if you're thinking about running for selectman, you can pick up your papers on July 6th. Okay, take care. See you later.